Well, hello, in Deuteronomy. We are getting towards the end of the book. We're in chapter 28 now, and it falls into two main parts: blessings for obedience and blessings for cursings. And not blessings for cursing, cursings for disobedience. So we'll deal with the blessings today. So let's read it, verses 1 to 14. We're reading from the NIV. If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all his commands that I give you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations on earth. All these blessings will come on you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God. You will be blessed in the city and blessed in the country. The fruit of your womb will be blessed, and the crops of your land, and the young of your livestock, the calves of your herds, the lambs of your flocks. Your basket and your kneading trough will be blessed. You will be blessed when you come in and blessed when you go out. The Lord will grant that the enemies who rise up against you will be defeated before you. They will come at you from one direction, but flee from you in seven. The Lord will send a blessing on your barns and everything you put your hand to. The Lord your God will bless you in the land he has given you. The Lord will establish you as his holy people, as he promised you on oath, if you keep the commands of the Lord your God and walk in obedience to him. And all the peoples on earth will see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they will fear you. The Lord will grant you abundant prosperity in the fruit of your womb, the young of your livestock, and the crops of your ground, in the land he swore to your ancestors to give you. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season, and to bless all the work of your hands. You will lend to many nations, but borrow from none. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. If you pay attention to the commands of the Lord your God that I give you this day, and carefully follow them, you will always be at the top, never at the bottom. Do not turn aside from any of the commands I give you today, to the right or to the left, following other gods and serving them. Right, so there we have it. It all seems very good. But you must read verse 1. It says, if you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all his commands. And as we know, Israel did not do that. I haven't done that. You haven't done that. Israel couldn't do it. I can't do it. You can't do it. So in one sense, all these blessings which are spoken of here are totally irrelevant. Now obviously they're not totally irrelevant. But taken on their own, they are. It's the next section, which is significantly longer than this section, with the curses for disobedience, which are our natural inheritance, the inheritance which we have earned. I mean, I don't know, how to think, what would life have been like if Adam had never sinned? Now, of course, that's purely hypothetical, because he did. But what would life have been like if Adam and Eve had never sinned? But they were meant to live in fellowship with God and to obey this one command they had. And they botched it. So now there are two options. One is to obey the law, obey the law completely. Not most of it, but all of it. All the time. But that way we are doomed to failure. We find that hard to believe. You see, when there's a big disaster or failing in the society of some sort, there'll be a commission set up, there'll be a big study, a big report, lots of recommendations, and we think, this will never happen again. And you know full well it will happen again. Something similar will happen again. We see it with anti-Semitism. After the Nazis and the Holocaust, we said never again. But we see it happening. We see it happening today. Thankfully, we haven't reached anything like the Nazi heights or depths to which it can go. Hopefully, we will never see that. Hopefully, we won't see such horrible depths again, but things are not going well on that front. The other alternative is grace, the grace of God. Because there's one person who has actually fully obeyed the Lord and followed all his commands, and that's Jesus Christ. So what does it mean for us today? Well, first of all, if you know me at all, you know I fully reject prosperity gospel nonsense. Which is that you can have all these now. Well, that's not true. But it doesn't mean they're totally irrelevant now. There's kind of two relevances to it. One is getting a foretaste or a hint of what life is going to be like after Jesus returns and we are raised from the dead. We die mortal, we are raised immortal. As it says in 1 Corinthians 15. So there's a hint of the direction God is taking us in, if you like. But secondly, we do experience some of this now. We get a foretaste, if you like. But we must also remember that Jesus said we need to carry our cross. And Jesus went to the cross. And we are called to share in his sufferings. So that's all part of the reason, there's many other reasons why I utterly reject the prosperity gospel. It doesn't understand anything. But anyway, it says, you'll be blessed in the city and blessed in the country. You're blessed when you come in and when you go out. We see in the West now, and our own country, nothing much works. The NHS is broken, immigration's a mess. The economy's a mess, all sorts of things are a mess. Things just don't work. When a people turn to God, things work. At the moment, it doesn't matter. You vote Conservative, you can vote Labour, vote SNP if you're in Scotland. The last Conservative government was pretty hopeless. Present Labour government has proven itself to be equally hopeless, possibly even worse. That's you can debate that. The SNP took over in Scotland with promises to make a better government, and they've proven themselves to be just as bad as the London government, the Westminster governments, and no better. We need to turn to God, and it will make a difference. And things work. The crops, you're blessed in womb, fruit of your womb is blessed. Your livestock have young. It says, when your enemies rise up against you, they'll come in by one direction, they'll flee from you by seven. The significance of 7 there, it's a complete defeat. Things that we do will be blessed. You will establish you as his holy people. It says, then all the peoples on earth will see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they will fear you. Now we can have problems with that, because what we see is a sinful man or woman, and having dominion doesn't seem that good a thing to give to someone, because you can't trust them. But a redeemed people, a regenerated people who are faithful to God, their power, their dominion works so completely differently from the way it does in the world. We see that, of course, in Jesus. He says, I came not to be served, but to serve, and to give my life as a ransom for many. Well, the church, when it wants to gain popularity, it tries to please the world, go along with worldly ways of doing things. And it doesn't work, and it's not going to work. We need to trust the Lord and follow him. And then people on earth will respect us. Now, we may well get persecuted as well, this side of eternity. But trying to go along with the world's ways is the most stupid thing the church can ever do. The most stupid thing you or I can ever do. So now, open the heavens, and the storehouse of his bounty will He will bring blessings on the work of your hands and on your land. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. We are actually designed to be the head and not the tail. Go right back to Genesis. Fill the earth and subdue it. I say we can get nervous about that because we see sinful man. And if we have any self-awareness, we're aware of some things within ourselves. But redeemed man, Christ-like man, or Christ-like woman, is completely different. And God created us to have authority. So, we certainly can't get all this lot in our own merits. Not going to have all of it now. But we can get some of it. We need a complete picture. So, I don't believe in the prosperity gospel at all. But neither do I believe in the poverty gospel. We are meant to have an influence on the earth. Jesus said, the glory you've given me, spoke to his Father, the glory you've given to me, I give to them. On that note, we'll leave it there. And the next one, I'm afraid, is all the curses. So that should be a laugh a minute.